Alright, welcome back to a new video about the map Universal Tower Defense Z. In this video, I'm going to showcase the character Yhwach in full and explain how to get him in the fastest and easiest way in Update 4 for Universal Tower Defense Z. Let's go! Welcome back. Before we start, I hope you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so we can reach 50 or 100 subscribers. Let's get started. First, to get Yhwach, you need to have a strong team because the Universal Tear is a bit difficult for weaker players, or you can join random people to get him. The first thing you need to do is come to the Universal Tear and farm this stage until Yhwach drops for you. Honestly, my luck was crazy. I got him on my second game. I upgraded him and got the ruler trait for him, and here are some clips of the upgrade process. Okay, after showing you the clips, let's farm to upgrade him and get his evolving. The first thing you need to do is enter the tier and play. Honestly, the team I'm with finishes the tier in less than 6 minutes, and it's the best one currently. In the previous video, I explained how to finish the tier easily, and whoever hasn't seen it should go watch it. Now, I'm going to farm until I get all the pieces I want and what I'm missing. Also, I've already made a macro, so farming is easier. I'll be back once I'm done. Okay, I'm back, and honestly, the farming was easy. It didn't take me more than an hour to get all the resources, and I even got the Ichigo resources too. Honestly, it was easy. And now, let's go evolve him. Okay, we're here. Let's do it. Okay, finally I got the strongest character. Honestly, I'm not sure if he is the strongest character in the map right now, but in the showcase, we'll see if he is the strongest or not. Now let's give him max level and do the showcase. Okay. We maxed him out, and now let's give him the Etherealize. I gave it to him, and the situation is better. I'll make a set for him really quick and get back to you. Okay, this is the set I'm using. Let's head into Infinity to showcase him in full. Okay, we're in Infinity now. Let's start the showcase. I've collected money and everything, and now we're placing Yhwach. Okay, as soon as you place Yhwach, he does 7.7 thousand damage every 5.04 seconds, and the strike animation is nice. He uses teleportation and long-range attacks. Now let's upgrade him to the second evolution. The second evolution is called Yhwach, and now he hits with a long-range strike that causes a vertical explosion, and it looks really cool. But the damage isn't wow. The damage at max upgrade is 145,000 every 7.06 seconds. And now let's check out the passive. Let's check out the passives. So we got Reishi Manipulation. On attack, it applies Blue Burn for 20% damage. That's a new one. Blue Burn for every unit in range for 5 ticks. For 20% damage for every unit in range for 5 ticks. Wait, what? For 20% damage for every unit in range for 5 ticks. So it applies Blue Burn for every, meaning like it's once per unit. So if there's 1 unit in range, it will apply it once, and then if there's 2, it will apply it twice, etc. That's how I understood this passive. So that's pretty cool. So the way this guy is going to be looking, like he's probably going to be like a leader of a team where you're going to have to bring a lot of multi-placement units. That's how it looks for now. But let's keep reading. The Almighty is the second passive. Use the active ability, which is this, and choose which form this unit will enter. We got self-buff, which it will buff itself, gain a new passive, and transfer stun and debuffs to allies in range. Okay, so it will debuff and stun allies in range, or other buff gains a new passive and transfers stun and debuffs from allies to itself. So he either stuns and debuffs himself or stuns and debuffs allies. Okay, so let me just place an ally so we can see how this works. So when I placed it, did it get debuffed? Maybe I actually have to use the ability. 1 second. Okay, yeah, I do have to use the ability. So I'm going to do self-buff here. So I just picked self-buff, right? I just picked the self-buff. There we go. So my units got debuffed by 20% damage and 20% range. And the Almighty gained a pretty strong buff, and the unit became full AoE as well. So let's see which passive it gained. It gained the Almighty Eye, I'm pretty sure. So this passive changes based on the form picked in the Almighty. For every owned unit in range, minus 20% and 20% range, as we mentioned. Buff this unit by plus 35 damage per unit, and the cap is plus 150. So you need 5 units to reach this max right here. which is 150% on attack. Follow-up attack for 100% damage. So basically, all his attacks are double his actual damage DPS-wise. On stun/debuff, remove the effect and apply to a random ally in range, plus 50% damage for 10 seconds. So yeah, this guy either debuffs enemies by a lot, debuffs allies by a lot, or debuffs himself and buffs allies. Now, I don't know if this works with other people's units, but otherwise, let's just try the buff others one instead. Let's just try that. Okay, so do I always have to use this every time? I don't know. So what happens when we buff our allies? Okay, I'll see. It changes. When an ally in range gets a debuff, the ally gains plus 50% damage for 1 second. This unit will buff allies in range based on the game mode. For the Warlord raid, plus/minus 30% cost, plus 40% damage, plus 30% elemental damage, plus 100% boss damage. In Rifts, we got plus 50% damage and minus 10 SPA. In Ultra Boss, we got plus 40% damage, plus 50% hyper armor damage, plus 75% boss damage. In Raid, plus 45% hyper armor damage and plus 50% damage. And in Infinite, where we are right now, every wave after this unit is placed, plus 2.5% damage to a plus 200 cap and minus 1% SPA. And in Other, where it was cut off without any summarization, game modes plus 45% damage. That's interesting. Well, in my opinion, from seeing those passives, I personally think that the best one is self-buff, because that's the one that's going to be it's going to be the same and it's going to perform the same in every game mode. And that kind of consistency is pretty good. So in my opinion, the self-buff is probably better. But Others buff will probably be better depending on the game mode. Some game modes will probably be very good with Others buff right here. Otherwise, self-buff is probably better in general, in my opinion. Now, obviously, we're going to have to see this unit with its perfect set before judging completely, but overall, this unit seems quite strong. Remember that this damage is not actually its damage. This DPS is not actually this DPS, because of the follow-up attacks and all of the extra stuff as well, like the blue burn that's increasing for every unit in range. So yeah, the unit is probably still worth obtaining. It's probably pretty good. So I suggest you go get it, because honestly, the tier is actually very easy to do. So you can easily get this guy right here. So yeah, go ahead and get him, because he does seem pretty good, and he can do both, buff units and also be a DPS himself. So yeah, you should definitely go get the Almighty King. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and see you in the next.